Please welcome the managing editor of the East Valley Tribune, Mr. Brett Fera. Brett, come on up. Welcome. Good to have you back.
Did he say you were the best in value comedy? Was that how he phrased that? What is value comedy?
Value comedy is what you're getting right now. Value comedy is when there's no cover charge. I think he said valley.
Oh, valley comedy, okay.
Yeah. So what's going on?
You know, I try to not necessarily always bring the iPad and the notes, but there's a lot going on, and that's a great thing for this region. And you know, I saw you a couple weeks ago at award season around here, and the Mesa Chamber Leadership Awards were a couple weeks back, and always a huge event, an annual event that the Chamber puts on. 101st year that these awards have gone on, which is pretty amazing if you think back to, you know, were you doing you hosted that first one, didn't you?
No, I was the third one.
Okay, well.
What is this, take a shot at the host guy?
Mike set it up, you know. He wore it down, and
you guys never learn. I'm going to still be talking when you get down from here. Payback is brutal, but go ahead.
You know, obviously the traditional awards, the small business, medium business, and large business of the year, Alpha Graphics, the Hyatt Place, and CMC Steel won those. But the cool thing about this award ceremony, I think, is kind of the non-traditional stuff. You know, for the first year, a nonprofit of the year honored United Food Bank, and Bob Evans from United Food Bank was up there, and he's been with them for so long and retiring at the end of the year. But for everything that United Food Bank does for this region, and you know, I think 6 counties it serves, so it was great to see that organization honored. We saw Otto Schiller, past president of the chamber, was up there, and he was honored as volunteer of the year. So pretty neat group. I mean, I was impressed just learning from the videos we got to see there about the different businesses. Namo Tally, which won the safety award, and what they do in the defense industry. I mean, it's incredible what businesses are out here and that people don't necessarily know about. You know, we hear about the large ones, and they're always going to get recognition and deserve it, but some of the ones that are kind of flying under the radar and are able to get recognition like this, it's a pretty neat event. And I was going to bring up to you, you know, when Mark Gallo from the city of Mesa got up there. I mean, that to me was the most impressive part of the night. He's the stadium manager at Hohokam Stadium, and I don't think I've heard somebody say I love Mesa so many times. It's almost like he was trying to convince himself, but no, he was trying to convince us, and you could tell the passion he has for this city and everything. And he won one of the industry leadership awards that night. So
yeah, he was very passionate about Mesa. He's like he's preaching to the choir. It's like, hey, these people live in Mesa.
Yeah, we all
that was cool. What else is going on?
You know, I mentioned awards. The Tribune did our 2013 Best of the East Valley that concluded over the last month or so and was released this past week. And you know, once again, a ton of it's a lot of business-oriented categories and some personal service categories, some people and places, things like that. The category shopping and services, people and places, arts and entertainment, recreation, and dining, and plenty of Mesa entities, but also Mesa Chamber, you know, members as well that were part of that, and completely voted on by the readers. That's the really neat part to us, is that we kind of just collect the votes, analyze them, and see who the readers picked. And what's neat about this year's, I thought, was that we did have a pretty good mix of repeats, and a lot of times you'll get these contests and the same businesses will win every year. But we had a really decent mix of repeats and new winners. And you know, while places like Mesa Arts Center are probably going to be a perennial contender for Best Performing Arts Center, just because of how grand that is, to see, you know, new winners. EVIT won for best high school or best public school, you know, and I know, you know, we're going to hear from them in a little bit too, and also won for best high school teacher. Mr. Tony Garcia is a teacher there. He teaches law enforcement, and I got to go over there during the week, and to see the students, you know, that supported him out there in person, it kind of adds a face to something like this. And you know, ASU, and I know we have Dr. Crow here, ASU won Best College again, and the interesting thing to me, reading through the comments, we take reader comments on all these votes, and it's voluntary, but just to tell us why you picked that. And the number of people that actually voted for ASU, specifically citing the Polytechnic campus here in Mesa, actually, I don't want to say it surprised me, but I found it kind of intriguing that the comments they had about how built out the Polytechnic campus has become over the last year and a half. That it's really not just Tempe and everywhere else. There's really legitimate campuses to ASU, and it's a great thing for this region, obviously. And MCC, Mesa Community College, was a runner-up for that category. So very neat to see the feedback as well as just reading the numbers of votes. So.
Very cool. What's on the horizon? Anything coming up we ought to talk about?
Well, the biggest thing probably for this region over the next year or so is going to be starting, it's already underway, but the real kickoff comes June 1st, and that's East Mark, the massive development over on the southeast part that's having its grand opening June 1st. So that's in a few weeks. And it's, let me see where it is. It's from 10 to 5 on June 1st at East Mark, which is basically Ray and Ellsworth. And there's going to be tons of community involvement events and family-oriented things and tours and pedicab rides and trolleys going around and displaying the park. And there's at build-out there's going to be a 100-acre park, and it's business output, homes, everything. I mean, we've talked about it many times here, but June 1st is kind of the first time the community is going to get to actually see what this is up close and tour, I think, 14 models of the different homes from the 7 builders in there. And so that's that I expect to see a pretty huge turnout in a couple weeks.
And what's the western border of East Mark?
Oh, geez, I don't even know. It's probably Yuma. I mean, it's way out there.
Well, I know it goes all the way to Albuquerque, but I'm not sure how far west it
is. It's pretty much half the state.
Awesome.
So.
All right, cool.
Yeah.
So we got and next month you'll be back to tell us.
I mean, there's a ton of stuff coming up down the pike. We were going to talk a little bit about Fireball Run today, but we'll get to that next time. But that's an incredible thing that the Chamber's involved in, a huge car rally that's going to be scrolling through Mesa here, and so we'll share that as we come up too.
There's a little teaser plug for that. All right, cool. Well, we'll see you next month. Any quick question for Brett? Otherwise, I'm going to turn him loose. All right, thank you very much. We'll see you next month.
Sir.
Thanks, Brett Fera.